everyone, it's Nicole from Physio Crewe telling you all about the difference between non-accelerated and accelerated protocols with ACL reconstructions. So if you are Googling and trying to find this information, you've probably had an anterior cruciate ligament tear. You're probably trying to find out information about what the best thing is, who the best surgeons are. Certainly you want to do your research with the consultant to make sure that they're experienced and they will have different protocols. So accelerated is where you're able to get back to things a lot more quickly. You will be progressing through conditioning work, so they'll do conditioning work of your hip, of your knee. The non-accelerated is a much slower progression, but is often used by some of the top surgeons. So people like James Robinson in Bristol, they choose the non-accelerated rehab, because although they go a lot slower, so you won't get back to competitive sport quite so quickly, the research in the long run is showing that the re-rupture rates are less. So unfortunately, if you have injured your ACL, quite often, especially if it was a non-contact, so that normally happens when the foot is planted and you get inward rotation of the femur, that's the bone at the top, on the tibia, which is the bone at the bottom. What we're trying to establish is that we know that unfortunately in the other side there's a 50% chance of rupture on the other side if you've done it on one side from a non-contact. What we really need to condition is that the body learns not to put the knee in that area of stress. So we're conditioning your body to keep the hip and the knee in line. We're trying to make sure that the knee doesn't internally rotate too much, and we do that through strength and conditioning. Often people who will have anterior cruciate ligament, they may not have done conditioning. It might be at the end of the session, it might be that they were fatigued for whatever reason, and there's a really good program that you can do to help actually reduce your risk of getting an ACL, particularly if you're female, particularly if you're between 16 and 24. That was, I believe, the age group that they studied. It was a Swedish study that was done in a population group which was footballers. So have a little look at the evidence and have a little look at this, the protocol that you can help to prevent. If unfortunately the ACL has already been ruptured, have a little look at your individual consultant. I can't tell you that some will allow you to do hamstring eccentric control at X number of weeks, because everybody is different, and you have to go based on what your surgeon has recommended, because they're the only one that's seen inside your knee. They're the ones who have the most knowledge of exactly what it was like inside. The physios are here to get you really strong, and you want to be making sure that your goal setting is that you're going to be stronger than you were before. A lot of people are saying, oh, I just want to get it the same as the other leg. Your goal, your ambition should be that it's even stronger than it was before. Listen to the advice, work on the hip abductors, work on the hamstrings, work on the quads, making sure the relationship of strength between the quads and the hamstrings is good, making sure the relationship of the hip control is good, and making sure that you rehab to a high enough level with cutting movements, diagonal movements, but that's at a later stage. Personally, if it was me, having worked quite a bit with James Robinson, I would probably choose the non-accelerated, because although it was longer before you get back to competitive sport, your risk of re-rupture is probably better based on the evidence that he was showing me last time we looked into it. Alright guys, have a great day. Take care, bye bye.